And I wanted to chase a rabbit real quick. It's nothing really to do with my message, but Richard was inviting you to our Christmas Day service, which again, I want to make sure you know that you're wanted and you're invited, and it's going to be great. But we don't do guilt around here, right? We try really hard at our church because I've seen guilt be weaponized in the past, and we don't like guilt. I like conviction, I like accountability, but guilt really doesn't change anything, right? It just kind of bullies you into not maybe changing your actions, but it really doesn't change your heart. And I've noticed this year with Christmas falling on a Sunday, there's been a lot of guilt thrown around about what you're doing on Christmas morning, right? And because people are going, well, do you go to church or do you not go to church? We have other Christmas plans that we normally do. And I told some of y'all a couple weeks ago, I was telling you about a pastor I know that just said, hey, if your church is not worshiping on Christmas morning, that ain't a real church. Fire your pastor, right? I'm like, whoa, I'm glad I'm having church on that day because I have my job safe. But also I've heard other Christians that will say stuff like, if you're not in church this year on Sunday morning on the 25th, you need to, are you even saved? Do you even love Jesus? I've seen all sorts of stuff in it. And I just want to take this opportunity to introduce you to a principle in Romans 14. Romans 14 verses 5 and 6 says this. It says, some think one day is more holy than another day, while others think every day is alike. You should each be fully convinced of whatever day you choose is acceptable. Those who worship the Lord on a special day do it to honor Him. You see, the crazy thing is you can worship God on the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, and as long as your heart is right and as long as you're trying to honor Him and worship Him, it doesn't really matter where you are, as long as your motivation is to love God, right? And so you will get no guilt from me if you decide not to join us next week. If you have other family plans, look, I'm going to leave that between you and God. As long as you are choosing to put God first and the presents and the food and all the other stuff second, and you figure out a way to put Jesus at the center, I say go for it. Right? I'm not going to guilt you. Now, again, I will bribe you because we're going to be giving gifts that morning that will only be for people that come on Christmas morning. Right? And you're like, well, Ben, what if you have extras? I'm petty enough. I'll take them all home myself. Right? You ain't getting them unless you come on Christmas morning. So I will dangle that carrot, and I'm not above bribing you. Come on, it's going to be a good time, and I'm really looking forward to spending Christmas with my church family as well. So